Morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, and we are coming to you live from the PhD Speed Gaming Expo here in, is it Orlando? Almost Orlando, Florida?
Almost Orlando, I
Almost
think.
Orlando, Florida. And we are joined this morning, first thing in the morning, here with Colin from Luma Games. How you doing today, Colin?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
It's a little early, but it's good. I'm,
Yes.
I'm happy to be playing board games this early in the
I
morning.
think that's a good call. I
Exactly.
agree.
So you brought a couple games to show off for us
Mhm.
today, and I'm excited because my inner 12-year-old sees dinosaurs on the table. And let's just jump right into it. So
I
what do
think
we
that's
have
the right
today?
call. So what we have here is Draftosaurus. It's the newest game by Ankama, which is a French publisher, and we're working with them here. And this is designed by Antoine Bauza and a number of French designers. So if you're familiar with Seven Wonders, Ghost Stories, Tokaido, there's a certain pedigree here. But the game is a 15-minute drafting game, but instead of any kind of card drafting, what we're going to be drafting are these adorable little dino minis. So these little meeples here
Little
are what
dino
we're going to be
chits. That's
putting
awesome.
into our little dino park, which is our little board. So we want to put on the best possible dino park, and we're going to do that by drafting dinos away from our little hand. And I have preloaded you a little hand there, and I've got mine. So I'm going to ask you to roll that little die there, and that's going to tell us where we're going to be able to play on a given turn.
So I'm just going to show this off here.
Yeah, let's just throw one out there.
All right, so we got this one here, which is a little dinosaur in a triangle.
That's right. So that would mean that if that came up on a turn when you're selecting your dino to place in your park, you're not allowed to play in any of the 6 pens that already has a T-Rex. So each of the faces of the die is going to tell you where in the park you may or may not be allowed to play for that turn.
Okay, so it gives you a little bit of randomization to a rule set when you
That's
go to place
right.
your
So
dinosaurs.
you've got some choices, but you also have some restrictions, so you constantly have to figure out what's going to work. And you can't get emotionally invested with your hand because, like any good drafting game, as soon as you've made your choice, you're passing these to the next
How am
player.
I not supposed to get emotionally invested in my dinosaurs?
Well, I mean, I can't tell you not to, but I can't tell you not to.
I think I got that.
I think I got that too, but I'm not sure. We'll see how it comes out.
All right, so on the die we also have the male-female restroom symbols there
That's the
almost?
restroom. So
Oh,
different
okay.
sides of a theme park. You're going to have your concession side over here. You're going to have your restroom side. You'll also have different locations. So down here, the color situation, as well as the little symbol for colorblind players. You're going to have the rocky grasslands, and then up here you've got the forested trees. So the die is going to tell you whether it's up or down, right or left, empty pens, or no T-Rexes in the pens. And the T-Rexes in the pens is because you can score a little bit extra if you have T-Rexes in your pens at the end, because T-Rexes are
The main draw.
the main draw. You got to
Yeah.
give people what they want to see.
Of
People like
course.
the T-Rex.
So jumping back a little bit, you did mention that there's different symbology on the board for
That's right.
colorblind players, and that's actually
Yes.
one thing that we really appreciate here at Twist Gaming. One of our main people here is Josh, and he is indeed colorblind. So we were trying out a game last night during the open gaming, and he had a little bit of issues with distinguishing what the die
Right.
roll was.
Yes.
So even seeing the fact that the dinosaurs themselves, while being different colors, have distinctively different shapes
Yes,
for the chits
absolutely.
themselves goes a long way to helping with that.
I think that a lot of care has been put into the production. So even though it's a small box, there's a lot of work that's been put in to make sure that as many people as possible can really enjoy this as unproblematically as possible. It's we're pretty happy with what the feedback has been so far from various players.
High accessibility, too.
High accessibility is very strong.
All right, so let's go through these a little quickly here. So what's this symbol
So
here?
that means we're going to go into the rocky grasslands below, and you'll see that the square around the symbol corresponds to the squares right on these 3 rather than the diamonds, so that if you are not looking at the colors, you're able to still tell which division you're looking at.
Oh, that's smart. So then transitioning here to that would
Exactly.
be the foresty
It's
trees
the foresty,
area.
but also the tree. That's right, the
Gotcha.
diamond symbol.
And then we've got cup of coffee. So
Cup
this
of
is going to
coffee.
be...
That's going to be your concession side because you've got your 2 little signs pointing you in the direction of the park.
And then the last one here.
So that one right there is going to tell you that the little circle / paw print means that you can only play in an empty pen. So over the course of the game, you'll find that Occasionally, you may either not be able to play in a pen or you may not want to play in a particular pen as they all score differently. So, if that's the case, you're still going to play once per turn. You may have them just go down to the river to have a little drink to kind of take a little break from entertaining. They'll still score you a little point at the end of the game, but they're not going to be focused on any of your big draw attractions.
So they'll be lounging poolside.
I think that's about right.
All right. So I think that's everything on the die there. So can you take me through what like a round or two of this game would look like?
So the game plays in 2 rounds of 6 turns. So we each have 6 dinos in our hand.
Okay.
And so what's going to happen is on a given turn, one player is going to roll the die, and the die roller will rotate clockwise. So if you can just give me that little throw. What do we have? Okay, so that's...
that lined up very nicely with the camera there.
I feel like that was pre-planned, but I don't think we've ever met before, sir. So the concession means that we're only going to be allowed to play on the left side of our board. Now, everyone is going to have their own board that they're playing with.
Okay.
So this is just kind of a preset piece, but the idea is we're playing on one of these 3 pens.
Mm-hmm.
This pen up here needs to be completely the same, so you need to have a set of similar dinos. Over here is the quantity, not quality, pen. You need 3 of any type. They can be the same, they can be different, they just want numbers.
Okay.
And then down here is the lover's pen, and that's going to score you points per pair of the same dino that you can put in there by the end of the game.
All right.
So now when we're looking at our dinos, we would each select one, and then we would reveal, and then we're going to place in the pen of our choice.
So if this was my board here, I would be placing this one over here.
Strong play, strong play. And then maybe if this was my board, I would play here to try to get to 3 dinos in that pen by the end of the game.
All right, cool. So for this bottom one here, you said it's per pair of dinosaurs.
Does that like dinos, that's right. So these 2 T-Rexes are going to score 5 points by the end of the game, but if I had that T-Rex and a Paracephalosaurus, then I'm going to have no points because, unfortunately, they can be very good friends.
But they can't be lovers.
Alas.
It's like a Romeo and Juliet dinosaur situation right there.
I think it is an impossible romance, that's true. So that's the way the die is going to inform us, and then the die will move. We'll draft again after we've passed our dinos across.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the next player would roll the die. And then we would continue like that.
All right.
As soon as we finish with our 6 dinos, we'll do one more round of 6 dinos apiece. And then as soon as there are 12 dinos on each of our boards, the game is over and we score.
Fantastic. So scoring is done as indicated by the point details on the board.
And each of the symbols just tells you very briefly what you need to do and how many points to do so. And then the highest point value wins.
Tiebreakers?
Tiebreakers tend to go towards shared ties.
Okay.
It's a
friendly game.
It is a friendly game, yeah.
Speaking of ties, how many players are we talking about playing with?
So this game goes up to 5. If you want to play with fewer, you're just going to remove some dinos because you have 60 little dino meeples, 10 each of the 6 different colors, and you would remove 2 per color for each player that you weren't playing with so that there will always be a multiplication of 12 in play. So everyone will use all of the dino meeples regardless of the amount of players we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this supports down to...
It actually has a 2-player specific drafting rules, so it will play as a 2-player couples game very easily. And it scales surprisingly well between the 2 to 5 without any kind of time up or down. So it is really in that 15 to 20 minute sweet spot.
Fantastic. And I like that it's a compact table presence to the game as well, so you can have a group of people around. You don't have to worry about it falling and spilling off the edge of the table and everything.
We've been very happy with that so far. It's a nice little package to just, here we go, and then put out onto the table, pull back. All right, good to go.
Plus you got these amazing Technicolor dinosaur minis.
It's a very vivid and tactile game.
Yeah.
People like to play with the minis. There's very much the, what do we have here kind of effect. So it's been fun to see people taking photos, really getting invested in playing with the components because it really does support that kind of play feel with the table presence.
All right, so where can our viewers go to find more information about Draftosaurus?
So I would recommend that they check out Luma Imports on Facebook to get more information. The game will be available this coming June, and we're looking at a $25 price point.
So Origin's release for this.
We're
Close to Origin.
We will likely have some copies there, and then it will be a wider release shortly thereafter.
Fantastic. So, is there anything else that you want to talk about with Draftosaurus before we move over to the next goodie that you brought over?
I think that I'll let the images stay in people's minds because I think that tends to speak much greater volume than anything else. I think we've done a wonderful job telling the very concise rule set.
Sounds good. All right, so moving onward.
Moving onward.
We've got Color Addict.
We've got Color Addict. Now, Color Addict is a quick-playing little card game. The idea here is simply that you are trying to get rid of your hand of cards, and your hand of cards is just going to be a series of words written in different colors.
All
and
right.
all of these...
So not necessarily the color that they represent.
Therein lies the rub. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, when you have the first card flipped up and the speed game begins, what you're going to be doing is trying to play a card. So if I had this orange card, I either want to play a card that says orange, a card that is orange as the text, a card that is brown as the color of the text, or says brown.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, my brain's already cramping. How are you doing?
So this one here that's actually brown that says orange, or
Yes.
it's orange text that says brown, kind of is a 2-for-1 special there.
Yeah. And then maybe... Oh, I can't play that next.
So does this
nuts.
bounce back and forth then?
We're just
or-
all trying to spam our cards as quickly as possible,
Oh,
so
we're-
it's very much in that vein of quick playing, empty your hand game, and whoever can get rid of their hand first is going to be the winner. So you'll deal out all of the cards in the deck to all of the players, and then you're going to try to, as quickly as possible, figure out what the next card that you can play is.
So whereas Draftosaurus was a little bit more of the take your time and place your dinosaurs where you want them, this is going to be a little bit of mass chaos.
Yes, whereas Drafto had that element of kind of building your own world here, your own dino park, Color Addict is very pell-mell chaotic, right in the central play where everyone is vying very aggressively to get rid of their hand first.
Got it. So I'm assuming there's a little bit more volume associated with this game when people are playing it.
I'm not saying that it's not a loud game, but I'm saying that a number of people could get very raucous very quickly.
You got to play it with those people, and then it becomes like a Mad Max situation then, right?
Very mad, very max, yes.
All right, so Color Addict, this supports how many players? I'm assuming bigger is better in this case?
Yes, so with Color Addict, this one is going to be up to 6, and the gameplay is just deal out all of the cards. So that's all it comes with, and you just have the rules right in the box,
Oh, I like the
right
box.
printed there, and it just tells you with examples exactly what you need to do, and then it has some basic rules for beginners, and you're off to the races in a very
Okay.
literal, very fast-playing way.
Fantastic. So where can our viewers go to find Color Addict?
Same. I would recommend checking out Luma Imports on Facebook to get all of the latest updates. But Color Addict is by Shuffle, and this one is going to be $14.99 and is available as of the end of April. So this one is available now.
Oh, fantastic. So check out your friendly local game store. Check out Shuffle and
Absolutely.
see where the game is sold by you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else from Luma Games that you wanted to talk about today?
I believe that we'll leave the focus here, and I just would like to thank you for the opportunity today. This has
right.
been wonderful.
Colin, thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And thank all of you for watching at home. Make sure you stay tuned throughout the day here at the PhD Speed Gaming Expo as we bring you more coverage from different goodies throughout the day. But for now, signing off, I'm Matt. Have a good one, everyone.